Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi and today we are just going to discuss about the determinant. Now determinant is last function which we are just going to see. Under the functions which we were just seeing, that was linear algebra, right? So we were just seeing linear algebra. So under this linear algebra, this determinant like finding determinant of a matrix is a very last topic which we are just going to see. So today we are just going to have the determinant. Let me just write the heading here, determinant of and matrix. Fine, determinant of matrix. Now basically what is like finding the matrix and basically how we do that, let me quickly tell you the thing. So here I have written a is equal to, now inside the bracket let's say I have four values a, b, c and d. Now if you just want to find like determinant of a 2 cross 2 matrix, so basically what you do for finding the determinant of a 2 cross 2 matrix, we have a formula and that is basically written as, so A and D are multiplied with each other, right? The like diagonals are multiplied with each other. So A and D. And I would just put a minus sign here. And this B and C, these both are multiplied with each other, these diagonals. So what is this basically? If you have a 2 cross 2 matrix, so the formula for finding a 2 cross 2 matrix is AD minus BC. Fine. So this was about a 2 cross 2 matrix. Now what next I have, I would just give you a simple example and the same example we will be taking in the PyCharm ID when we just seeing the practical. Okay, so I would just write example. The example is 3, 4, 2 and 1. So this is the example which we have taken. So what was the formula? That was AD minus BC. So what is this AD? AD is my diagonal, that is 3 into 1. So 3 into 1 is 3. Now putting that minus sign, what we have, B multiplied by C. So 4 into 8, 4 into 2, that is 8. So here what is, I got the determinant, that is 5 minus 5. So minus 5 is my determinant which I just got here as the output. Fine. So this is about the finding the determinant. Now what's the way for finding? Basically what's the syntax? So let me just quickly discuss that. I will just write here as syntax. Fine. So syntax is numpy dot linear algebra dot this det and in the bracket the name of the variable in which just you have stored your matrix. So this was the like formula for using the determinant function. The syntax for using the determinant function is numpy dot linear algebra, that is linalg dot det and in the bracket I have written a. So this is the syntax for using your determinant function for finding the determinant of a matrix. So this was basically how we find a determinant of a 2 cross 2 matrix. When I would just take the example for the 3 cross 3 one, I would just explain the same thing. That's it. So let me just quickly open the PyCharm and yeah. Okay, so this is the PyCharm and now here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write the program for now. So I would just write your import it's numpy as np, right? So import numpy as np. So this is basically importing of the library which I am gonna use for like finding determinant of a matrix. So that is numpy. So I just wrote import numpy and this np is basically meaning that np is a short form which I have just given to my library, that is numpy. Now what next I have, as I always tell that basically we can use the help function and see the use of this determinant function. So I would just write np dot linalg dot and here I would just write this, choose the determinant one. So dot determinant. Fine, I will just run my program. So it will basically tell you that what's the proper syntax and like what's the example. And so here I will just tell you a little bit about this thing using this help function. Afterwards on your own you can just explore all the things. Fine. I just wrote DETA. Now this is the determinant A. Fine. This is DET, the function which we basically use. So what it is used for? It is used to compute the determinant of an array. Fine. Now what are the parameters that we can just have? The parameter is only one and that parameter is A. So in the parameter that is A, basically what it does, it stores, like this can be a variable that stores the matrix inside it. Okay. So let's say we just say that, okay, let's say I have taken a variable that is A and inside that what I am doing, I'm just storing my matrix, right? So this is that variable only inside which we store the matrix. So input array to compute determinants for. Fine. Now what does it returns? It returns a array like it returns a determinant of a array. So other than that, here are some more things which you can just have a look on your own. These are the examples which you can just see. So for now what I am going to do, I'm just going to tell you the example for this. Fine. So what I would just do here, I would just write a is equal to, here I would just take the array. I would just write, firstly I would just comment this help function. I would just comment it. A is equal to NP dot, I would just write here as array. Okay, I would just write NP dot array. Now what was the example which I have taken that? Let me quickly go to OneNote and check out that thing. So it was 3, 4, 2 and 1. So it was like 3, 4 and it was like comma. I will just again put a comma and it was 2, 1. So this was the same matrix which I have just shown you the example. So I have just taken that thing here also, that is 3, 4 and 2, 1. Now what else I have? Here what I'm going to do, firstly I would just print this and check it for a while. So I will just write print and then A. Now here I will just run this thing, and after running what I just got my 2 cross 2 matrix, whatever I have entered, and that is 3, 4, 2, 1. So that is fine. Now what next and what else I have? So here we can just use that function that I was just telling. So for that what I would just use, I would take another variable that is B. I would just write np.linalj, that is my linear algebra. I would just write a dot det, and inside this bracket I will just write A. Okay, so this A is the variable in which I just want to perform this determinant function, and after that I would just print A. Okay, so after running my program, see what's the output that I am going to get here. Okay, so what I just printed, okay, sorry, I just printed A. Let me quickly write that B here. Okay, now it's fine. Let me now run that program. See. Now what I just got here, I just got as minus 5 point and somewhat many 0 and then 1. So let's quickly verify that, yeah, we were just getting the same determinant, that was minus 5 in the one node which we have calculated, right? So that means the way for calculating determinant is also fine, and this function is also fine, absolutely working absolutely fine. Now here what I was just getting, I was getting many zeros after my output, that is like minus 5.000 something and then 1. So if I just want to round this thing, round of that, I just want to write 5.0 something like that, I just want to get that thing, what I would use. So basically we have a function and that function is called as round. So I would just write here as round. Now inside this round what I would write np.linalg. So basically that is linear algebra. np.linalg, that was named as linear algebra. Now what I would just do, I would just write determinant, and inside the bracket I would just write A, and I would just now what I would print that C. Now just quickly let me run that, and for that I would just, okay, let's not comment that thing, let's only run this thing. Okay, so now you can just see that when I just use my, when I hadn't have not used my that round function, so what I was getting minus 5 point and somewhat many zeros and then 1. So but after using that round function, what I am getting now here, I am getting only and only minus 5. That is the correct output which I am getting. So this was about the discussion of the 2D arrays. Now if 2 cross 2, that is square matrix. Now if I just want to take a 3 cross 3 matrix, so how to find the determinant for that thing? So quickly let me go to OneNote and give you an example, and then we are just going to see the same example in the PyCharm itself. So basically now what's the formula? So let me just write here and give the things A, B, C, and then D, E, F, and then G, H, I. Fine. So this is the basically way for 3 cross 3 matrix which I was telling. Now what's the way and what's the formula for using this? The formula is A. Now this A, we have taken this A. Now I would just multiply these both with each other and put a minus sign in between. So I would just write EI and then minus FH. Fine. I would just write next what I would just put minus B. This B, and I would put a minus I. Now for minus what I would do, I would just okay, let me take a highlighter. Fine. So what I would do, I would just remove this and this line. Now what I would do, I would just multiply DI and F and G. So let me take any fine color that is present here itself. So I would just multiply DI minus F and G. What else I have? C. So I will just put a C plus C. And now what I would do, I would just let me first take an eraser. I just wrote all of these things. No issues. I would just write that once more here. Let me quickly do that. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F, and then it's G, H, I. So for just taking the C, so I would just leave this line and I would just leave this line, and rest I would just multiply D, H, and E, G. So let me just take the color itself. Okay, fine. So here I would just write DH minus E and G. So this is the basically a way for writing the determinant, for finding determinant of a 3 cross 3 matrix. Fine. So that is A, A and these two are multiplied. Then for B, this DI and GF is multiplied, and for the C, DH and EG is multiplied, and like in between these the minus sign has been written. So if I will just write on the pie chart, I will just give you a proper example on the pie chart itself. So I will just take a variable that is A here. Fine. I will just write np dot array. Fine. Inside this array, I will just take a 3 cross 3 1. So I will just write, let's say 9 comma 8 comma 7. It's like 987, then okay 6 comma 5 comma 4, and even I have 3 comma 2 comma 1. So this was like 3 cross 3 matrix which I have right now taken. Now what I would just do, I would just first, okay, let's print it for a while. Okay, I would just write print and then A. I just want to see this matrix that for 3 cross 3 matrix. So yeah, here I just got that 3 cross 3 matrix. That is okay. Let me just go above back side. So like, okay, hold on for a second. Fine. So this was my 3 cross 3 matrix which I am having, and you can just have a look over that. Now what I just want to use a function, I will take another variable that is B. I will just write np.linalg. I will just write det, that is determinant. Inside that I will just pass A, and I will just like print B. So after printing this, my determinant for the matrix that I have stored in A variable, that will be computed, and yeah. So here, let's say here the output which I am getting, that is 0.0. So basically this can be the, you can say, determinant for 987654321. Let's do one thing quickly. Let me just change the values for a while. That one is absolutely correct. Now let's take another example, one more example. Okay, I need to put one more bracket here. Now fine. So I will just take 5 comma 4 comma 3 here itself. Now I will just run the program. So okay, so here I just got some value that is 2.666 or something, and if you just want to round off, so yeah, that you can just do on your own. I just told you that basically how to round off a value using that round function, right? So here I just told about the determinant function, that basically how we just use the determinant, and what's the use of like how we can just calculate the determinant of a matrix using the determinant function, right? So here we have completed the linear algebra functions, all of the functions which were like computed in linear algebra, right? So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and bye bye.